One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferraro, and wherever you are on the planet, we welcome you this morning as we ring in spring. It's almost sprung, and if you celebrated St. Patrick's Day over the weekend, I hope that was fun for you with a full moon and all this joy bursting forth from within. So thank you for joining us, and please do share us with your friends. Take a moment to let your friends know what you're doing, sharing us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever your outlet is. Maybe forward our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter if you would. SoulCallGlobal.org, doing amazing things on the planet and awakening consciousness, creating a conscious global community open at the heart. And this morning, you're going to see a video that was recorded when I did a live talk a couple weeks back at one of the opportunities I had to speak. If you'd like for me to come to your town, let me know. Be happy to. But this was on Get It, Got It, Good. And I changed it into Get It, Got It, God. So enjoy the talk this morning. But first, we're going to begin, as we always do, with a sacred practice of Qigong. And Qi is energy, learning how to harness the energy of the universe within and around us at all times, and being able to take that and channel it with the will and the consciousness into positive intention. So join us for this practice of Qigong as we welcome one of our Qigong masters this morning, Deborah Weisenberger-Lipitz.
Hello, everyone. We are continuing on with opening the lower spine through turning very gently. So please, with the eyes open, fall back to the center of the head, then all the way behind the head to the occipital bone, Yujin, the Jade Palace, and open up to the vast Qi field blue sky behind you, aware you are opening to the front, above, below, and both sides, expanding out into nature's Qi, further to the stars and further to infinite space in all directions, merging us all as one with all things. Then gathering all the healing Qi, good wisdom information, and pulling it back deep inside, awakening our true essence, our true self, and very gently close the eyes, aware there is a soft glowing inside. As we practice, it becomes brighter and brighter. If you are standing, open the feet to just about armpit level, Da Bao. If you are sitting, the same thing. Feet are apart. Then, if standing, gently bend the knees, keep the spine straight, tailbone to the ground, and allow the arms to float upward to a comfortable position in front of the chest. Place your awareness, your attention into the arms, the space, the Qi field supporting you in between the arms. Then turn this huge Qi field to the left, comfortably, not too far, back to the center, and to the right. Back to the center. Continue turning. Your attention is in between the arms, but you are aware of the lower back. From the waist to the tip of the tailbone, lighting up with chi. Opening, merging with the huge chi field behind us and all around us. The huge chi field behind, merging, opening, lower back, attention at the chi field in between the arms, just aware of lower back. Then slowly back to the center, aware of this huge space, chi field in between the hands. Then slowly move the centers of the palms, pushing all this healing chi through the navel to chi, settling in between the navel and the lower back, keeping the space open, full of chi. Then relax the hands to both sides. Gently straighten the legs. Open the eyes, smiling from the inside out, and give thanks.
And now here we go with the recording of a talk I did at a Unity church a little while back. And once again, if you would love for me to come to where you are, just let me know now that we're open and out and about. And remembering that Sunday, April 3rd, we are going to start live in-person meeting here in Columbus, Ohio at AIAM at 10 a.m. in the morning. We will still be live streaming. We're doing hybrid events starting Sunday, April 3rd, which coincides very closely with SoulCall Global's 2nd anniversary. So we are very excited to be able to be live and in person. So join us at AIAM, American Institute for Alternative Medicine here in Columbus, Ohio. And wherever you are on the planet, we will be with you still. We'll be live streaming from there, and everything will be the same if you're not in Columbus. But if you're in Columbus or you're going to be passing through, join us live and in person. And now here's Get It, Got It, Good.
Bring your energy back to the room. Maybe tap your feet a little, feeling grounded. I am so thrilled to be back speaking with you this morning. I would like to just take a moment to thank Reverend Dan and the Unity Board members for allowing SoulCall the privilege of utilizing this fabulous space for our SoulCall Global Food Drive, and in fact, announcing it in the Unity community as well. We really appreciate getting to co-create in consciousness with, we feel like, our fellow community at Unity. So thank you for the use of the space this morning as we nourish and help bags of food for people who are food insecure in our neighborhoods. So it's wonderful to partner this way. And thank you, Jolene, for the introduction this morning. So the theme for February for Unity is good. And it reminded me of being in elementary school just a few years ago. I had a 5th and 6th grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Paulson, and she was our reading teacher. And she had this saying, and with a little bit of I guess she was from the South, now that I think about it. You know, I hadn't heard anybody speak like this, but she would give us a lesson in reading. She was teaching us, phonetics or something so we could sound out words and all that good stuff. And she would write something on the board and explain it, and she'd turn around and she'd say, get it? Got it? Good. And then she would turn around and get to another thing and she'd say, get it? And we'd say, yes. Got it? Yes. Good. And when she would turn to write the next assignment on the board, she'd go, okay, now you're going to do this reading assignment. And invariably, one of the other classmates would say, Mrs. Paulson, is this going to be due tomorrow? And she would respond, you bet your sweet Bippy. And, you know, she taught us many things, but I'm not sure that I ever got the accurate definition or her definition of what a Bippy was. There was much discussion in the lunchroom, as you can imagine, on the playground. And I got to thinking about this week, and I thought, could you even say the word Bippy in a classroom now without getting hauled in or some kind of, what is a Bippy? But get it, got it, good. And I thought, what a metaphor for life. We enjoy when things are quote unquote good. But as I alluded to in the affirmation, my singular idea of what is good might be somebody else's singular idea of what is not so good. Right? So how do we get to this place where we can say, and the Lord saw it and said it was good, and it was very good? Where does that come from? Certainly not in the world of duality, where we live and move and have our being. We have left hand, right hand, we have two eyes. We say I could say, I'm here and you're there. But if I were to ask you, you say, no, I'm here and you're there. So we can't even get singular on location in this world of materialization. But out beyond those ideas and deep within is where we can find this place. So the well of the soul, it is well with my soul. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to arrive at good from the place of the soul. And we will probably change that word from good to bliss. Get it, got it, good. So, in keeping with that theme of good, how many times have you heard, or maybe use this expression yourself, even when something's not very good, it's all good, it's all good. Do we hear this? How many of you have heard that? How many of you have said it yourself? How many of you might have had an accident, maybe you slipped and fell and you jump up really fast, like, you know, the cat, it's good, it's good, it's good. Then you like hobble to your car, like, oh my God, my leg, it hurts really bad. Where does this come from? Why are we so quick to, what if it's not good, is what I was thinking. Because sometimes it isn't. And why is it so difficult for us to say, it's not so great, I'm struggling right now, I'm having a hard time. I think it's important, especially on the spiritual path, it's essential to recognize, in fact, when something is not going very well. It's called introspection, it's contemplation. It leads to spiritual evolution. So what I like to say is to get involved in order to evolve. It requires deep involution to evolve your consciousness. It starts inside and we bring it forth from within. We all have the seed of, it's not called outtuition, it's called intuition. We are born with it. We have it. It is the seat of the soul, the seed of our consciousness. The very first thing that was sparked is this divine remembrance. It knew how to grow this body. It knew how to do it. We didn't really have to give it any help. So here we go. Again, it's this inward journey to materialize and form these things. So before we get to, it's all good, you know, I remember I was thinking about it's all good, and I was thinking of many years ago attending a birthday party for a 5-year-old boy. And all of his little friends were there, and there were kids of different ages, you know, and he received all these presents, and he was thrilled. 5 is, what a great age, right? So we're all there having a good time, and the biggest gift, the one that the parents were waiting to unveil after all the other gifts were given, it was covered with a sheet over in the corner. And his mom walked over to it and said, you know, the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Johnny, here's your big prize. This is the thing you wanted. And she pulls the sheet back, and it's a little drum set. And his eyes flew open wide, and everybody could just, we got a contact high of the joy of this little boy. He rips over to it, sits down, grabs the sticks, and you know, what all of us would do that don't really know how to play drums. He just started hitting everything. It's not very rhythmic, and boom, boom, boom on the bass drum, and he's 5, so he's not real strong. And it wasn't like a great drum set, but it was nice. And he's having a good time. We're all in it for about the first 5 minutes. It was amazing. After that, it's like, okay, is he gonna stop playing the drums? You know, how long is this party? And so they say, you know, Johnny, why don't you go out and play upstairs? Okay, so he leaves the drum set. He steps away from it. Now an 8-year-old jumps behind the drum set. And he starts hitting on the drums, and I think Jim knows where this is going. Next thing you know, he bangs his foot on the bass drum, and the mallet hits the head of the bass drum, and puts it right through the middle of them, breaks it. It was like, oh no. Everything was really quiet. And we looked over at little Johnny, and you could see his neck. It was like a cartoon. Do you ever see the cartoons where a character gets really mad? They look like a thermometer, gets red. His neck was red, his head started to get red, and from across the room, his mother shouts, "Use your words." I was like, that's good advice, but he's 5, you know, I don't know how he's gonna do this. And just shaking with frustration and all the things you would imagine when your favorite toy just got broken. You've been waiting for this. He just yells out, "Brian broke my drum set, and it's not okay." It's like, oh, heartbreaking, and he runs upstairs. But why do I say this today? Because a 5-year-old could find the words to accurately say, it's not okay. It doesn't mean the world's gonna end. It doesn't mean, you know what? It is not well with my soul right now. This is not okay. It's well with my soul, but on the outside, what I'm experiencing right now, not okay. So I want you to think about a time for yourself where you experienced something. It might be recent. You might have to go way back if you're lucky. I don't have to go that far back. Where you experienced something where it wasn't okay, but you proclaimed it's all good. Just think about it for yourself. And if you had the opportunity to reframe it and actually name it, not to hold on to it, but to recognize, this does not work for me. Or, no, I'm struggling. You know, on a quite personal level, you know, I recently became a grief recovery specialist. And one of the things, I was dealing with my own grief. And it's a process if anybody's dealing through grief, and I think the pandemic's bringing that up. A lot of us have lost our lives, and we're still incarnate. We're not able to move around the same way. It's a loss. I wouldn't say it's good. I would say there's something in it for me. There's something in it for us. But one of the most important things is to be able to say, I'm not doing so well. I'm struggling. It's okay. Like even Jesus struggled under the weight of the cross. That gives us permission to accept the fact, and my head's tingling when I say this, to accept the fact that sometimes life is a bit of a struggle. It doesn't mean it's always going to be a struggle. It doesn't mean we accept it as our permanent way of life and not employ anything that saviors, saints, sages have given us to help us find our way. That's not it. It's just to recognize when it comes and to choose something different for ourselves and start to move in the direction of it is well with my soul. And right now on the outside, I just don't like what this is saying. Are you with me? Are you getting it? Can you think of a time recently? How many within the last maybe month have said, it's all good, see? What if we make an agreement today to, you know, this Tuesday I'm teaching a class called the 4 Agreements, and one is be impeccable with your word. But what if on top of that, what if we just committed to telling the truth? Everybody's like, oh, I need a drink of water. Nice idea, Lisa. You won't be back. Thank you. Enjoy yourself. You know, so get it, got it, good. What does that mean? So for us to get the assignment, or to see, assess on a spiritual level, get it, got it, good. I get, when this is coming into my field, I do an assessment. How does my body feel? My body does not feel so great, perhaps. Let's say my body feels achy and it hurts. Why? Maybe I need to walk more. Maybe I need to move my body more. Maybe I need to eat different things. Maybe I need to eat less of things. It could be so many things. Maybe it's just old and it hurts. That's okay to say. You don't have to pretend that it doesn't. It's part of this human life. None of these bodies are going to last forever. Jesus isn't incarnate anymore either as a physical form, but the consciousness of that Christ comes through us all the time, doesn't it? Yeah. So it's recognizing in my mind, when do I just not, I don't feel right, or that is confusing to me, or this behavior that I keep coming forth with, I don't want to do that anymore. It's not good. It doesn't give me great results. What can I do to help myself help myself? It's getting clear. So it's get it, get what's going on, assess what's off the mark. Realize when you've got it. I've done an assessment and I understand. So each day, at the end of the day, we talked about this once before, is like this contemplation, this contemplative state of thinking about how the day went. How did it unfold? And think about the things that occurred. You might bring something differently to next time. You know, this happened. I could probably do a more effective job next time. This thing occurred, and I thought I responded to that quite well. I feel like that went really well. And then the last thing I think of is the funniest things that happened. And I try to fall asleep laughing every day, so that I don't take myself so seriously. Because that could be a thing. I could feel like I'm the one that has to do it. I am the light of the world, right? I am everybody's source. No, we're not. We are here to co-create and enjoy relationship. It's in relationship. So get it, got it, good. And what I'd replace the word good with God. Get it, got it, God. And for God, I would use the acronym that Julia Cameron offers us from a really fantastic workbook called The Artist's Way. If you've not done it, it's so fabulous. And her acronym for God is good, orderly direction. So get it, got it, God. It is in this introspection, that inward journey, that we can find the wisdom of the soul, creating our next steps. Not the small s self, the capital S self. Am I doing that right? My left hand. Look at that. Thank you. No, so it's realizing when we're just going through the motions, or it's our singular idea of what needs to happen next. If we make the habit to tune in, to get involved, to evolve a situation. You know, last week was the Super Bowl. I bet many of you didn't know that, right? How would you not know that, right? And Joe Burrows, what a hero of Athens. Somebody gave me an article that was written about him, and the 31-second speech he made when he won the Heisman Trophy. In 31 seconds, he raised more than $500,000 for the food pantry in Athens, Ohio, to help the people in Appalachia, that region. And now, after the Super Bowl, it's up to $1.5 million. He got involved to help evolve a situation that nobody was paying any attention to. Really, some people were, but not enough people. That's not good. That's not good. It's something that we can make God, good orderly direction. I see this, get it? I get the situation here. People are starving. We live in the wealthiest country on the planet. Why are people starving? Got it. Good orderly direction. And he just said something. Now the food pantry is doing better, but they're realizing that even with $1.5 million, that's a good start, and we can all do a little bit more. We can't do it as individuals, and that's the thing. And we can't evolve our consciousness only as individuals either. You'll hear master teachers say this all the time. If you went up into the mountains and meditated for 20 years and felt you had reached enlightenment, and then came down from the mountain, wherever you go, and just go home for Thanksgiving, good luck. See how well you do when you mix in the world. That's where we get to practice evolving our involution, and we take it into the world to evolve. And we get to do this with and for each other. So coming together in sacred community is indeed an honor. And it's an important part. It's an important part. So the 3 steps to get it, got it, good. Get it. We do first the assessment, right? Body, mind, spirit. What are my thoughts? How do I feel? And the spirit. What is motivating me? Am I connected to source? Is it good, orderly direction? Am I moving toward that? And then recognizing when it's yours to do. But if we're connected, we'll know when it's ours to do. So thinking about that. So I want to give you another illustration. I found something. I'm going to be teaching a book in the fall called The Holy Science. And it's a book written in 1893 from a gentleman from India, Swami Yukteswar. And Swami Yukteswar is Paramahansa Yogananda's guru. And the word guru means dispeller of darkness. And they call them Sat Gurus. Jesus Christ was a Sat Guru, and that word translates to savior. And what they mean by savior is not somebody always rescuing and doing it for you. It's one who helps to spark your consciousness so you do it yourself in connection with the almighty infinite presence that can pour through us all the time. So it's in recognition of that. And these are called sutras, which are precepts. They're like scripture verses in this book. It's called The Holy Science. And they give us three different levels, kind of like body, mind, spirit. It's Chit, Sat, Ananda. And Chit means the true consciousness, and it brings about the complete destruction of all troubles and the rise of all virtues. So this is good orderly direction. A Satguru, or a teaching, which can bring about when practiced, that's the key. When practiced, not read, when practiced every single day, to realize the true consciousness. Rumi would say, little by little, the true beings, the non-beings are being gone, and little by little, the true beings are coming. Meaning, as we evolve, as we get involved, our involution shows up in the world as evolution. It's each of us individually doing these things. Individually, not out-individually. See how those words work? All through our language, it's kind of fun. So it brings about the complete destruction of all troubles and the rise of all virtues. And then Sat is a word that means existence. And it is attained by realization of the permanency of the soul. So Sat is existence, and it is attained by realization of the permanency of the soul. Though sun and moon shall pass away, Jesus said, my words will ever stay. It is that consciousness that is here. Each of us, every 100 years or so, we're swept away. Other people are here. What will we leave them? What will they find? That we have created, co-created with the love and the source of the infinite. And then Ananda. This is the part where the good comes in. Ananda means bliss. And it's the bliss of the soul that patiently waits for us to sit at the feet of it and allow it to flow through, the bliss of the soul. So Satchitananda. I remember when I first got a load of this back in the 90s, I would go out for a run. And as I would breathe, I would just go, Satchitananda, Satchitananda. You might do it while you walk, just to get it in your mind. Start thinking about existence, consciousness, bliss. It is well with my soul. It's not all good all the time. So we made a few agreements this morning. How many of you are willing to tell the truth? To tell the truth. What's my line? Remember these shows? Great. I got somebody here like, man. Just kidding. Most of the time. To contemplate, get it, got it good. You get it, got it good. So get it, assess. You're willing to assess on a regular basis? Allow yourself to be real with yourself and experience good orderly direction in the realization of Chit, consciousness that brings about the destruction of all troubles, Sat, existence, attaining the realization of the permanency of the soul, and bliss, feeling more of that in your life. And if you'd ask me if these things work, in the words of Mrs. Paulson, I would say, you bet your sweet baby. Thank you.
Cascada de luna, cascada de sol, me baño de luz cristalina y cristalina me voy, cristalina me voy, cristalina me voy. Navego un mar estrellado, diluvio sideral. Abro el pecho infinito, de donde fluye el manantial, de donde fluye el manantial, de donde fluye el manantial. Abro el pecho y canto, abro el pecho y canto. Abro el pecho y canto, abro el pecho. Corazón global, corazón global, corazón global, corazón global, abriendo pecho al infinito, corazón, corazón global, ábreme mi corazón global, este corazón me guía, este corazón me llama, este corazón global heart. One family, one people, one planet, one love, 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 one family. One people, one planet, one love, one family, 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 one people, one planet. One love, one family, one people, one planet, one love.
Once again, we thank you for joining us this morning for SoulCall Global. And wherever you are on the planet, we want you to know that we are available to you to pray with you. And please send us an email at prayers@soulcallglobal.org. And I am also available for spiritual counseling and grief recovery. I'm a grief recovery specialist. And if you are in need of one-on-one counseling through loss of any kind, or in need of prayers@soulcallglobal.org, or you can drop me a line at info@soulcallglobal.org. But just know that we are a conscious global community. We are here. We've got the infrastructure to be able to pray with you, to work with you. And you're not alone. You are very much connected at the heart. Also, we thank you for your donations. I know that we're going to be moving into a space. We invite you to consider the challenge of raising the donation if you're able, so that we can manifest our own space a center for contemplation, meditation, and creativity. Contemplation, meditation, creativity, and of course our classes, education on opening our awareness and consciousness. I'll be offering 2 classes coming up later. One will be on the book of Rumi and Shams, the 13th century mystic, and the main inspiration that lit that fire into Rumi. And then also later in the year, probably in September, I'll be offering a class on the holy science written by Swami Sri Yukteswar. And you're invited to those. More about that on the website. But every Monday night, please join me for a peace meditation from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can register at soulcallglobal.org and just click on events and classes to get the link to come into the Zoom room. We meditate. There's some chanting, and then we go into the silence together, filling ourselves to overflowing with peace and sharing that peace with the world. So also Signs and Symbols of Our Ancestors is now available, the book that Natalia Zuckerman and I edited with 25 different people contributing, and Natalia's beautiful illustrations. So consider sharing that with some friends. It's a sacred, beautiful little book. And we want you to know that it's available for sale in the bookstore on our website, the store. So I want you to remember, wherever you are, whatever challenges are presenting in this duality, which is planet Earth, remember that we always have within us that which we need, or those whom we need. As part of this global community, you're not alone. And remember, wherever you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love, one family.